is Joe Grossnickel. I live at 4805 Morningside Avenue, Sioux City, Iowa. I'm retired from the Navy. I put 20 years in the Navy, and then I retired from Mercy as a nurse, surgery. I put 18 years in there. Regarding the Vietnam War, what I would really like for you to know about it, I got in on it at the very beginning. I was there from 66 to 67, 13 months. I was with the Marines. I was a corpsman. In the very beginning of the war, the whole time that we were there, we thought we were actually doing a service to the South Vietnamese people, for the South Vietnamese people, and with the South Vietnamese people. We did operations with the South Vietnamese Army, some of their units, but for the most part we were on our own. Marines we started at An Hoa, and then we went north to up close to the DMZ to Dong Ha, the rock pile is what they called it. One time when we got there, they tried to overrun us, and from midnight to 7 in the morning we took weapons fire, rockets and mortars and everything, and they were not successful. We did a lot of patrols and everything, and saw a lot of action there. We did a lot of humanitarian work also. We gave out I don't know, medical, what I want to say. Well, we just tried to help the people in the villages medically, and we gave them food also, because the rice that they were growing, the North Vietnamese would take from them. The Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army would take from them. And so, you know, then I guess the only thing that really bothered me the whole time I was there was you never knew who your enemy was. I mean, you knew who they were, but to see them, you'd see people walking around and you never knew if they were friends or foe, because they all dressed the same. The Viet Cong dressed just like they would walk out of a field or a yard and pick up a gun and start shooting at you or whatever, you know, go into battle. The only time you knew who the enemy was with the North Vietnamese Army, and we had a couple of skirmishes with them, and they had uniforms. The Viet Cong didn't have uniforms; they're just what they wore every day. So it was a guerrilla warfare, and it was kind of tough. But I don't know, I thought what we did was right at the time, trying to prevent the spread of communism. But however, the people back home didn't think it was, for some reason or other. Anyway, they started protesting, I guess, mostly after I'd been back from Vietnam. And that kind of upset me a lot. But anyway, getting back to my story, I don't know, I did see a lot of action. I patched up a lot of wounded Marines. I guess I never have regretted what I did, and probably never will. Well, I guess the I don't know how to say it. What I want to say is that as the war kept progressing, to me it kept getting further and further away from what they originally went there for. At least I thought. But anyway, And it would have been over, I think, a lot sooner than what it was if they would have let the generals do their job and fight the war the way it should have been fought. But with Congress running the war, it was, our hands were tied, and we could only do so many things, and we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, we couldn't use these weapons, we couldn't use, and it was just totally unreal. If you're going to fight a war, let the generals fight the war. Let the men fight the war. Don't tie their hands. But now, you know, people have asked me, do I have any animosity towards the Vietnamese? No, I don't. Because when I look back, they were just doing their job, trying to defend their country from what they saw as invaders. And they wanted to handle their internal strife on their own, just like we had a civil war here. They were going through a civil war in their country, and we stepped in and tried to help out them, who we thought were the good guys. And at the time, I thought they were the good guys too, the South Vietnamese, and I'm sure they still are. You know, nobody, I guess, likes to be a slave to communism, and I wouldn't want to have to worry to look over my shoulder every time I went somewhere to visit somebody or whatever, you know, if they would let me do that. But anyway, I don't know, I thought it was, at the time I thought it was, when I was there, I thought it was again, a loss for words here, a worthwhile cause. And like I said, I have no regrets at all. If I had it to do over, I would just, I would go and do it again.